What's good everyone, it's Steve from Sneaker Tech Talk, back with another video today. For today's video, we will be taking a look at the performance review of the Sirius Player Only Player One Plus in the light version. Alright, so this colorway is dubbed the baby colorway. I don't know if that's because it's kind of has that baby blue or almost like turquoise blue, but that is what the brand is calling it, is a baby. But as always, starting the performance review with the traction at the bottom of this shoe, you are getting that herringbone traction pattern in this kind of zigzag pattern right here on the Player One Plus Lite version. It's exactly the same as the standard Player One Plus, so you know you're going to get that amazing traction on all court conditions. Indoors, outdoors, they'll be good to go as well. They have a very loud squeak within this traction pattern right here, and they perform the same as all of the traction patterns on the Player One Plus, translucent or solid, it does not matter. This traction pattern performs elite on all of your movements. It does collect a little bit of dust, so you'll have to wipe every now and then, but that really just kind of gives the sound and the squeak back. The traction itself, as far as performance, performs the same. So really no hiccups with this pattern right here. It's one of the most tried and true patterns out right now across the board with any brand. And on the Player One Plus Lite version, it is elite. So as far as the traction on this model goes, I'm going to have to give them a very solid 9.5 out of 10. Basically a perfect pattern on this model right here. Now, as far as the cushioning goes with this model, they are introducing the Quick 2.0 drop-in midsole. This is an ATPU style foam. It's for high energy return while being extremely light. It is by far the lightest drop-in midsole across the board for the brand. It's their newest drop-in midsole you're getting here. It has a ton of bounce within it. It's very squishy, a ton of compression, and it's just like, it almost feels like styrofoam. Like, it's just so lightweight. This portion right here for the arch support is a Phylon material, so it is a lot more firm, so you're not going to collapse under your arch, but you get a ton of impact protection at the back of this drop-in midsole, while the front is very thin. It still has a bit of a bounce, but it just maintains that great court feel in the Player One Plus Lite version. This is my new favorite drop-in midsole besides the Explosive. I honestly think this might be the best across the board. This is a groundbreaking drop-in midsole. I just really love the lightweight nature of it and just the very superb feeling underfoot. You also have that liner here at the top of the drop-in midsole, so you're not sitting directly on kind of the foam itself, but you are getting that liner. So a ton of impact protection at the back, just a very plush feeling cushioning in the Player One Plus Lite version, and that's why it's going to score a very solid 9 out of 10. As far as the fit goes for this model right here, it's more or less the exact same as the Player One Plus. I stuck with my standard size 11 that I've been wearing in all of the shoes for Sirius Player Only thus far, and they fit very snug on foot. As you can see, the toe box is very tapered, not a lot of extra volume here on this model. The lacing system, you do have these two eyelets that do run down into the strobel on either side, right here, kind of at the midfoot, and then the lacing system also extends down into the forefoot to give you that nice and custom fit. Just for the record, in Nike basketball shoes, I'm typically a size 10.5. With Sirius Player Only, I go up to a size 11. So I do think if you are a wide fitter, go up half a size right from the jump and you'll be good to go. If you have a very narrow foot, you should be good to go going true to size. But for me, it was a very snug fitting shoe. One thing that this shoe was missing is a ton of the padding at the back. It's very sculpted, as you can see here at the back of the shoe. I never got any heel slip, but that is one thing I did notice, is there's a lot less padding at the back of the shoe. But for me, the fit was very nice on foot, and that's why these are going to score a pretty good 8.5 out of 10. As far as the materials go on the light version, I will say right off the bat, they are a cheaper material than the Player One Plus. So what you're getting here is a bunch of kind of plastics and TPU material. At the back, you kind of have this patent leather portion right here in orange, and they do kind of have these bubbles here at the back heel counter that doesn't really offer any performance features, but it does look pretty cool in hand and on court. Moving your way down from that, you basically have this plastic kind of TPU material that is see-through, as you can see my finger right through it here, and that kind of runs down and extends the rest of the shoe around the eye stay. You have some fuse portions and some more fuse reinforced portions here at the toe box. So really nothing premium or special. The one thing I do really like about the Player One Plus is the raw material that they do put on the back of the shoe, but you're not getting that here on the light version. It's not a bad thing, but I just will mention it is cheaper in hand. It does feel cheaper, but I think it's pretty cool how it is see-through. As far as performance benefits or features, really no hiccups with this material right here. It breaks in rather quickly, and the tongue itself is kind of that Pro Combat tongue with all of the perforations, and then more of that kind of plasticky material in the orange at the top. So again, a very cheap setup, but it works very well on court, and it's very strong as well. So as far as the materials go on the light version of the Player One Plus, these are going to score a decent 7.5 out of 10. Now, as far as the support goes on this model right here, it's not as supportive as the Player One Plus. The light version is kind of a stripped down version of this model. So starting at the back of the shoe, you do have an internal TPU heel counter, but it's not quite as sturdy as you can see right here. It does flex a lot more, so you're not getting a super sturdy heel counter here at the back of the light version. Now moving your way down from that, you still have this TPU plate right here that does run down into the strobel story, and it kind of acts as a lateral guardrail and gives you some extra torsional rigidity right here on the lateral side of the Player One Plus in the light version. So it does a great job of keeping your foot housed within this shoe right here. Moving your way down from that, you still have a pretty wide and stable base at the front and the rear of the shoe. And then instead of a carbon fiber shank plate, you have a TPU shank plate right here, which does a pretty nice job of giving you some nice torsional rigidity and support directly under your arch within this model. Another thing I already mentioned, but is that you have these two stabilizer straps here that are the eyelets. As you can see right here on the inside, they do run down into the strobel board. So when you really crank these laces down, it wraps around your foot very nicely. So overall, it's a pretty supportive basketball shoe, but not quite as supportive as the Player One Plus, the standard version. But for me, being 6'2", 6'2.5", about 220 pounds, I really never had any hiccups. The one thing I would have liked just a little bit more or better is having a little bit more of a sturdy heel counter at the back of this model right here, but really no issues for my playstyle and size for the Player One Plus light version as far as the support goes, and that's why they're going to score a pretty good 8.5 out of 10. As far as the weight goes for this model right here, with that new Quick 2.0 drop-in midsole, this shoe does come in at 13.5 ounces for a US size 11, and the shell itself without the drop-in midsole does come in at 11.85 ounces. So overall, in my opinion, this is a pretty lightweight basketball shoe. It is the light version of this model, more because of this lightest drop-in midsole that they are offering with the Quick 2.0. So that's kind of the whole reason behind the name. For me, it is a really cool new hoop shoe that I'm very much looking forward to keeping in my bag because it more or less ticks off all of the boxes as far as what I need within a hoop shoe here in the light version. Also really quickly, as far as the price point for this model, these are coming in at $169 USD instead of the $180 price point for the Player One Plus. But sound off in the comments what you guys think of this model. Are you planning on picking them up and trying them out? For me, it's a very viable option here in 2025 from the brand Serious Player Only. But that's going to do it for today's performance review on the light version of one of, if not my favorite basketball shoes to play in still, the Player One Plus. I think this is a very nice addition to their lineup, not to mention that new drop-in midsole. Now they have 5 drop-in midsoles across the board. All of them are interchangeable with every shoe, that they do have out there. You know, the Game 1, the Ranger, the Player One, the Player One Plus, and now the Player One Plus Lite version. So it's very cool that you can kind of customize your cushioning setup to your liking. For me, that is something that Nike should have done a long time ago with the Kobe series, but they never really gave us options as far as being able to purchase those cushioning setups, and this brand is doing a superb job. So kudos to Sirius Player Only for doing that. But sound off in the comments, are you guys planning on picking this pair up? Have you played in the Player One Plus? And for me, I think this is a great option for guards and just slashers that want a very lightweight option with some superb cushioning underfoot. But like I mentioned, that's going to do it for today's video. As always, if you guys could like, comment, and subscribe, that would definitely help the channel a ton. And check out my Instagram over at Sneaker Tech Talk, as it is an extension of my YouTube channel with all my pickups, basketball footage, and nostalgia as a whole. As always, thanks for watching today's video, and until next time, peace.